When I got the text from my neighbor Jake, just 4 words, "Man, get home now," I knew something was off. Jake wasn't the type to overreact. He'd grill burgers in a thunderstorm without blinking. But that message caught me at work, and it twisted my gut. I hopped in my truck, weaved through traffic, and screeched into my driveway, only to find my backyard crawling with workers, ladders, and what looked like a full-blown event crew setting up a party on my pool. Not beside it. I stood there, jaw dropped, watching pink and gold streamers being draped across a wooden platform that smothered my entire pool. This was the same pool I'd spent 3 years saving for, 6 months custom building, complete with a high-end programmable wave system tucked under the tiles. A woman with a latte and a megaphone was shouting orders. When she spotted me, her face didn't even flicker. She strutted over like she owned the place and said, "Oh, good, you're here. We're almost done setting up for Mia's Sweet 16. Try not to step on the rose arch, it's fragile." I was so floored I thought I might be dreaming. I blinked. The platform was still there, squatting on my pool like a bad decision. "Who are you?" I asked. She shot me a look dripping with disdain. "Lisa, HOA board vice president and Mia's mom. Didn't you get the memo?" "Memo? What memo?" My voice edged into dangerous territory. "Lisa, this is my house. That's my pool. You built a stage on it." She rolled her eyes like I was the problem. "It's a dance floor," she said, sipping her latte. "And don't be dramatic. The HOA voted. We needed space, and your pool wasn't in use. Honestly, I thought you'd be flattered." "Flattered?" I glanced at Jake, who was leaning on the fence, mouthing, "Told you." Lisa waved a clipboard. "Don't worry," she said. "We'll be gone by midnight. Plus, you'll get a community appreciation certificate. That's better than cash, right?" I almost laughed, but instead, I pulled out my phone and started recording. Lisa flinched at the red light. "Oh, don't be like that," she said, her tone suddenly syrupy. "Let's not make this a thing." I panned the camera over the platform, the streamers, the sound system on my patio, and the bartenders wheeling kegs across my lawn. "You want a thing?" I said quietly. "I'll give you a thing." That night, I dug into the HOA charter. Lisa claimed my pool fell under some communal entertainment space clause from the 1980s. But my cousin, a lawyer who owed me one, read it and sent me a video of himself laughing so hard he was crying. "They've got nothing," he said. "Zero legal ground. Sue them to oblivion if you want." I was tempted, but then I remembered something better, something personal, poetic. My pool wasn't just any pool. It had a secret weapon. A programmable wave system with settings from gentle ripples to a full-on tsunami mode for surf training. I'd never used it until now. I stared at the control app on my phone, at the glowing red Activate Tidal Shift button. I didn't press it. Not yet. Lisa had made it clear the big event was tomorrow night. And if I'd learned anything about people like Lisa, it's that they care more about optics than anything else. Wreck the party? That was justice. Wreck it on camera in front of 200 parents and teens? That was art. The next day, I played nice. Lisa swung by at noon in a sparkly visor, fake smile plastered on, and asked if I had a trash bin her vendors could use. "Sure," I said, handing her one I'd just emptied of garbage but hadn't cleaned after a failed composting experiment with fish scraps. She didn't notice. By 7 p.m., the DJ was set up, guests were arriving, and Lisa stood on the fake stage, gushing into the mic. "We're so lucky to have neighbors who value community spirit." I watched from my upstairs window, iced coffee in hand, savoring every smug moment. Then it started. The first beat dropped, and I tapped wave mode 1, gentle vibrations under the stage. Nothing wild, just enough to make the floor feel alive, like a carnival ride. The dancers thought it was part of the vibe. Lisa grinned like a pageant star. She had no clue the tide was turning. I tapped again, wave mode 2. The plywood started to hum like a pulse. A few guests frowned, confused, but the DJ, probably buzzed on energy drinks, yelled, "Feel that bass." The crowd roared. Lisa clapped, swaying, drunk on her own spotlight. I hovered my finger over wave mode 3, disruptive current. One press, and it'd be a party no one would forget. I smiled and waited. The real show was coming. By sunset, my backyard looked like a mix of a wedding venue and a carnival. Teens in glittery outfits poured in, dragging annoyed parents who were already grumbling about parking. Lisa glided through the crowd like a queen, hugging people she barely knew, thanking them for joining our special night. No mention of whose property they were on. No thanks, no acknowledgement, just sparkle, gossip, and chaos. I stood on my balcony, popcorn in hand, phone ready, eyes on the Wave Machine app. Wave Mode 2 was working perfectly. The dance floor seemed fine from afar, but dancers could feel something off. The panels shifted slightly every few seconds, like a heartbeat in the wood. One girl tripped during a dance video and blamed her boots. A guy spilled his drink mid-twirl and glared at the cup. The tremors were subtle, constant, just enough to breed unease. People couldn't quite balance. Lisa, oblivious, called it excitement energy and deemed the night a triumph. Then came the DJ, lanky guy in a neon vest and sunglasses at night. He swaggered onto the stage, shouted, "Let's make history," and cranked the music so loud my windows shook. The floor bounced with each beat, amplified by my wave setting, a perfect mix of fake stability and real chaos. I watched teens jump and scream, their shoes slipping on the plywood. Lisa took the mic again, welcoming everyone to Mia's Sweet 16 like she was hosting the Oscars. Then came the moment I'd waited for, Mia's solo dance. The music shifted to a slow pop ballad. The crowd parted, and Mia stepped onto the platform in a gold dress that probably cost more than my fridge. As she posed, I tapped Wave Mode 3. The shift was instant. The floor tilted slightly left, then snapped back. Mia stumbled, caught herself, and blinked, confused. The crowd murmured. The DJ, sipping from a sketchy flask, tried to tweak the bass and slipped, knocking over a massive speaker. It crashed onto the plywood's edge. Everyone screamed. Lisa rushed forward, yelling, "It's fine. It's fine," but her voice drowned in the music and panic. I hit the disruption loop. The platform rose and fell like a bucking bronco, tilting unpredictably. Guests stumbled. Drinks spilled. A tray of cupcakes slid into the DJ booth. Someone's dad did an accidental split. Mia shrieked as the floor tipped, nearly tossing her into the balloon arch. Lisa yelled at the DJ yelled back, and guests yelled at Lisa. A teen slipped near the edge, one foot hitting the water with a splash. Panic rippled. People rushed off the platform, thinking it was collapsing. I saw their faces: terror, confusion, soaked clothes. Lisa, red-faced and shrieking, ran in circles, trying to save her event. "Don't panic," she yelled, just as someone knocked over a candle, igniting a streamer. Jake, watching from the fence, was doubled over laughing. I could barely hear him, but his tears said it all. The platform sagged in the middle, creaking under the water's pressure and panicked feet. I didn't want anyone hurt, so I dropped to Wave Mode 1, stabilizing the platform just enough. But the damage was done. Decorations floated in the pool. A speaker sparked and fried. A dad slipped, cannonballing into the shallow end. The air reeked of chaos and burnt wiring. Lisa grabbed the mic and screamed, "Stop!" Everyone off the dance floor. Off the pool. Too late. The illusion was shattered. Guests fled through the side gate, soaked, furious, makeup streaming. Mia was sobbing, yelling that her night was ruined and she hated her mom. Lisa tried to calm her, slipped, and fell through a weakened board into the water. That moment, caught by Jake's phone, would later become the most viral 10 seconds in HOA history. As the crowd thinned and the music died, I walked to the yard, phone in hand. Lisa dragged herself out, hair plastered, dress sagging. She glared at me. "You did this," she hissed. I raised my phone. "No, Lisa, you did this. I just turned on the waves." She opened her mouth, but froze when she saw Jake filming. She spun, shrieked, and stormed off, one shoe gone, trailing water and glitter. By morning, my backyard was a disaster. Streamers floated like seaweed. The plywood buckled. A sequined purse was tangled in a sparking cord. A deflated unicorn float bobbed under a fallen light. I stepped out, coffee in hand, barefoot, taking it in like a general after a battle. Then I saw Lisa at the gate with 2 HOA board members and a camera crew from a local blog. Her face was exhaustion, fury, desperation. The HOA president, Tom, who'd once bragged about his perfect hedge, held an envelope like it was a bomb. Lisa didn't waste time. "This has gone too far," she said. I sipped my coffee. Agreed. "You trash my property. Let's start there. Tom cleared his throat and handed me the envelope. Inside was a nonsense document claiming I disrupted a community celebration and endangered guests. I laughed. Endangered? You built a nightclub on my pool without permission, with trespassing contractors, and set it on fire. You endangered yourselves. Lisa opened her mouth, but Jake popped up behind the fence, waving a tablet. Want to see the drone footage? Lisa's jaw clenched. She tried to pivot, voice suddenly soft. We just think you should take responsibility, maybe cover some damage. Just the dance floor, DJ booth, Rose Arch. I nearly choked laughing. You hosted an illegal party, damaged my pool, and want me to pay for your flowers? She blinked, not expecting pushback. Tom mumbled about neighborly peace. I smiled and stepped inside. You'll love what's next. 2 hours later, Lisa got surprise one. A police report I filed, with video proof of her trespassing, hiring contractors on private property, and hosting 100-plus guests without permits. Trespassing, vandalism, code violations. I didn't need to press charges, yet the report put her on notice. An officer came, took photos, and left Lisa pale on the sidewalk. Surprise 2 was better. I sent Jake's drone footage, security clips, and phone videos to a subreddit for HOA horror stories. It hit the front page in 6 hours, racking up 1 million views. Comments called it legendary. Someone edited Lisa's pool fall with dramatic music. Jake made it his ringtone. Lisa was now wave queen. A kid dressed as her for Halloween, complete with a soggy wig. Lisa threatened to sue Jake, but since his video was from public view, she had no case. She tried to fine me for cyber harassment. The new HOA lawyer laughed for 10 minutes. Surprise 3, my cousin drafted a cease and desist letter, demanding restitution for pool damage, lawn destruction, and emotional distress. It wasn't about money, it was about ending Lisa's reign. When the letter arrived during her brunch, her mimosa glass shattered on the pavement. Jake, of course, filmed it. The HOA fractured. Neighbors shared stories of Lisa's overreach fines for unapproved birdhouses, kids' chalk drawings, tacky mailbox decals. A petition for an emergency audit of HOA funds got 70 signatures in 48 hours. At the next meeting, the crowd was so big they moved it to the high school auditorium. Lisa looked nervous at the podium. Someone yelled, "Make her dance on the pool again." The room roared. She accused me of a harassment campaign, but the evidence was undeniable. She trespassed, commandeered my pool, and endangered guests for her daughter's clout. She was a cautionary tale. That night, neighbors I barely knew texted me. One brought wine and a thank you card. Another baked brownies. A vet offered to fix my lawn. Community spirit was back, not because of Lisa, but because she was exposed. I hadn't used my pool's final setting yet. That, I saved for the farewell party when Lisa's reign ended for good. The days after the wave dance disaster sparked a neighborhood awakening. Lisa had ruled the HOA like a dictator with a clipboard, fining people for wrong, flowers, or visible hose reels. Now, her literal and figurative fall broke the silence. During a walk, I overheard neighbors swapping stories. One, a quiet woman named Ellen, said, "She fined me 4 times for my porch light being too bright." Another, Sam, grumbled, "She said my wind chime was disruptive to the aesthetic." Word spread. Lisa had been a menace, but no one had dared challenge her. Now, the spell was broken. By week's end, a petition on the community forum demanded an emergency HOA election and audit of Lisa's spending. It needed 50 signatures. It got 78 in 2 days. I signed with a smirk. Lisa was spiraling. Her confident strut became a shuffle, head down when walking her dog who, ironically, she'd fined a kid for excessive yapping. She issued new fines, desperate to regain control, but no one paid. They posted her notices on the community board with notes like Lisa's greatest hits. Someone made "I survived the wave party" shirts. Another built a mini plywood stage on their lawn with a doll in a tiny Lisa wig. The emergency HOA meeting was packed, held in the high school auditorium. Families, retirees, even teens showed up, some with popcorn, others in shirts saying "pool vibes only." I arrived with Jake, who wore a fake press badge labeled meme director. Lisa was 15 minutes late, hair messy, no clipboard, makeup barely hiding her stress. She took the stage, voice shaky. "Thank you for coming. There've been misunderstandings, but everything I've done was for the community. Someone snorted. Another fake coughed. Tsunami. The room chuckled. Lisa pressed on. We can't let internet rumors and out-of-context videos ruin our standards. Jake stood and asked, how much HOA money went to Mia's party decorations? Silence. Lisa froze. Ellen asked, why'd you waive your own fence violation but fine me for a planter? Questions piled up. The crowd became a courtroom, Lisa on trial. Someone live-streamed. Lisa stuttered, blamed clerical errors, but it was over. When the vote came for a new HOA board, she didn't even get nominated. 3 neighbors well-liked, promising transparency won in a landslide. Lisa sat in the corner, arms crossed, lips tight. I passed her on the way out. She didn't look at me, didn't speak. Her face said it all, years of control, gone in a wave. That night, the neighborhood celebrated. No invites, no HOA, just people in yards, grilling, playing music, sharing stories. My battered backyard became the hub. Jake projected the wave party collapse, laughter echoing as Lisa flailed in slow motion to opera and cartoon sounds. Someone brought a cake shaped like a clipboard with R.I.P. Lisa's reign in pink icing. A neighbor I barely knew gave me a thank you card and a beer. You didn't just save your pool, he said. You saved us. As kids splashed and music played, the neighborhood felt alive, messy, loud, human. Lisa was gone. Her power had been an illusion, built on fear. When someone said no, it crumbled. I raised a toast to waves, footage, and the clipboard that broke. The best part? I hadn't used my pool's final setting. That was for later. Lisa's exit wasn't dramatic. A week after the election, a crooked for sale sign appeared in her yard. The neighborhood didn't celebrate, but the air was lighter. Lawns seemed greener. Neighbors waved more. Lisa posted on the community board, claiming she was leaving for health reasons, not because she was the face of HOA infamy. No one bought it. Her pool fall was still viral, remixed with dolphins or her wig floating to sad music. A YouTuber's Wave of Justice parody hit 2 million views. The phrase became a local meme. Her insurance company denied her claim for party damages, citing unauthorized use of private property and my footage. She owed $27,000 in losses and HOA restitution, all out of pocket. The new HOA board reversed her old fines, offered reimbursements, and launched an investigation into her fund use. They asked for her receipts. She didn't reply. She just packed. On her last day, a moving truck idled. No one helped. No one waved. She loaded boxes alone, yelling at movers, her dog yapping. Jake filmed, whispering. The suburban Lisa retreats after a failed power grab. A few days later, a new family moved in, young, friendly, with kids and a dog. The husband, a pool contractor, said, I followed your story online. You made waves. We laughed. He fixed my pool for free, replacing plywood scars with stone decking and a new filtration system. I added solar lights, speakers, and renamed Wave Mode 3 Lisa Dance Party. To celebrate, I threw a massive pool party. HOA approval needed. Neighbors brought food, music, and sea creature floats. Jake projected the saga's greatest hits. Teens reenacted Lisa's fall in the shallow end. Someone brought a cardboard Lisa cutout with a speech bubble. My clipboard will find you. The crowd roared. But what hit me wasn't the laughs, it was the unity. Neighbors who'd been strangers were together, smiling, real. No one checked your grass length or mailbox color. It was messy, joyful, human. As the sun set and pool lights glowed, I stood by the diving board, watching kids splash and parents chat. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about reclaiming what Lisa had stolen, not just my pool, but our spirit. She'd been the storm, but storms pass. We rebuilt. Someone handed me a wave-shaped cake with "Long Live the Pool King" in blue icing. I laughed, accepted my crown, and toasted to neighbors who film, waves that dance, and never letting anyone turn your backyard into their stage. That night, alone by the pool, laughter fading, I looked at the still water under the moonlight. I tapped my phone, turning on the wave machine one last time. Just a gentle ripple.